Welcome to Virtualize Everything, where we strive to inform and educate the viewer about technology and technology-related topics. Today's video presentation is going to be about installing OpenVPN in a Proxmox container. The first step that you're going to need to do when installing OpenVPN in a Proxmox container is to set up your container. Here is a short video presentation about setting up a container in Proxmox web interface. We're titling what the server is going to be called, and then we're going to enter our password twice, once for the password and once to confirm it. Now we need to select the template we're using. We're going to use Ubuntu 2020.4. Now, since this is going to be a server, you most likely are going to want a static IP address, so this is the point where you enter it. Also, make sure that you enter your gateway's address. It will not be, in your case, the same as your server's address as I have entered here. Now that your container has been created, we can move on to configuring our container. The configuration of our container is going to be important to getting OpenVPN to run in a Proxmox container. If you have already tried to set up OpenVPN in a Proxmox container, you'd know that it doesn't work. We need to add the two lines on the left-hand side of the screen to the config file in the bottom left in order to get OpenVPN to work correctly in a Proxmox container. Here is a video presentation about how to do that. We're going to go to PVE and we're going to go to Shell. In the Shell terminal, we're going to enter the line plus the container number with nano to edit the configuration file. Now we need to copy and paste the two lines from the presentation into this config file to get them to work. Now that we have copied these two lines into the configuration file for our container, we can move on to setting permissions. The first command we need to run is chown 100,000:100,000 dev-net-tun. This will set the permissions for our container so that we can use dev-net-tun file for our OpenVPN. On the right-hand side, you can see the output that will be generated from entering this command. It goes straight to the next command line with no output displayed. The next step is going to verify that we correctly set the permissions. We're going to use ls-l dev-net-tun. On the right-hand side, you see the output that should be displayed if you have correctly set this. Notice the date and time that appears in this line. That date and time will be updated on your system and different. The rest of the command should look identical if it was done correctly. Now that we have done that, we can close out of our shell, go back to our web interface. To start the container, we're going to first click Start, and then we're going to open a console. Now that we have a console going and the container is running, we need to update our container. Here is a short video presentation that has dramatically been sped up so you can see what this process looks like if you don't already know. The two commands to do this are going to be apt update and apt upgrade -y. If you see, I'm entering them with 2 ampersands so I can run them in the same line, back to back. Now we need to install OpenVPN. The command we're going to use is going to be apt install OpenVPN git, G-I-T. Here is a video of this happening. Now we need to clone the Git repository for the script that we plan to use. The URL is on the screen to the left, along with 2 other commands. We're going to run both of these commands. One changes the directory to the cloned repository or cloned file from GitHub. The next is the command to run the bash script that we have downloaded to install this. Here is a video of this happening. You will note that I have blocked out my host IP address. Yours will show between the brackets. Now that we have done that, your last step is going to be to use your favorite tool to move the OVPN file that you have created in your root directory to your client to configure it. Some of the tools that I have used in the past have been Samba, FTP, USB drive, an Apache web server with Git. All of these have their unique configurations, and some of these setup processes you can find in other Virtualize Everything videos. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Every subscription helps Virtualize Everything get closer to their goal of 1,000 subscribers. Meeting their goal of 1,000 subscribers means YouTube will begin monetizing our videos. The monetization means that Virtualize Everything will be able to afford more equipment to bring you better, informative projects and improve the quality of your videos. As always, have a good night.